Hello, my beautiful friends. Okay, so it's November, and I have been wanting to teach you guys a lesson that I have been developing because I've been learning it myself, especially over the last year, and I have dedicated a massive amount of my time to learning this lesson for myself because I needed it. I needed to change some of my thought patterns and some of my beliefs because I was operating under a belief, and you might be too, that our world is set up as either predator or prey. And if you really think about that, maybe you've never even thought about that. It's a rough way to live, and I'm watching so many people living that way, the way that I used to live until just, this year. It's been so life-changing for me to learn this. But I really prayed about this, and I asked for help from any available angels, ancestors, anybody, anywhere. I just said, I've got to know the answer to this, and I'll tell you why. When I went through such a difficult time the last 3-4 years, I did a lot of therapy and a lot of healing and a lot of soul work and a lot of looking at myself. And I realized that I have been operating on this default role of being prey to predators. And it's been going on since I was a little kid. And this belief, like a hardcore belief, that if I don't give away some of my power and some of anything that's mine, then somebody's going to come take all of it. And I have to get power from the people that have the power, and almost like I have to beg for it and pay for it and prove and do all these kinds of things. And when I started really healing and getting to a place where I'm like, I can never do that again. It would be such an act of self-betrayal. It was easy for me to make those new discoveries and those new decisions when it was the pandemic, and I was, locked in the upstairs of my friend's house, for 2 years, and really only saw my husband and my children sometimes and my best friends. It was easy to go, you know what? I'm done. I'm not being prey anymore. But when my dreams started coming back, and my drive and my desire to be in the world again and be around people, I kind of went into a panic attack because I was like, okay, if I'm not going to be prey anymore, does that mean the only way I'm going to survive is to be a predator? And that is even worse to me than being prey. It's just not in my nature to be a predator to somebody, and I'm sure it's not in yours either. And so what I mean by prey and predator in this context is that you believe that somebody on the planet has more power than you, or somebody that there's a limited amount of power, and you either have to take it or it's going to get taken from you. That's kind of like the predator mentality of just, I have to kill or I'm going to be killed. And I have to take from others in order to survive. And that's really a belief they have, like it might just seem really cruel and mean, but at the end of the day, they're just little scared children that are like, if I don't take from them, they're going to take from me, or somebody's going to take from me, or I have to win, or I'm not going to be valuable, or whatever it is. It's just it's a messed up belief. And then the attitude of someone who is operating under the belief of that they're prey is always thinking, what are they going to do to me next? What do I have to do to get hurt the least amount? How much do I have to give up so that I can keep a little bit of what I have? That's where I've been. Oh man, it's embarrassing. So when I started to really heal and want to be alive in the world again, and I started having dreams and ideas, I just went to my truth teller and said, I have to heal this belief. I have to know, is there another place besides predator and prey? Because I can't operate inside of either of those places anymore. It just doesn't feel right to me or true. And so I have been on a lengthy journey of studying and praying and listening and asking and experimenting. And over the last 6 months, I just found a vein of gold, like a vein of gold in the ground. If you were prospecting and looking for something that's valuable, I found a huge vein of gold, and I've just been following it. And it started with just having my truth teller ask me to trust that there is another way, and that if I would be willing to believe that, which is what I'm asking you to do. If I would be willing to believe that I would discover the greatest truths of the universe, of the human experience. And I feel like I have. And it's simple and it's difficult. It's simple in theory, and it's difficult in the exercise of it, and actually the physical manifestation of it, because it requires an unwinding of so many beliefs that we have been barraged with. I think some of us more than others. Maybe you are somebody that already knows what I'm about to teach you, and if you are, then I hope you'll teach it to lots of others, because there are a lot of us that don't know how powerful we are, and so we either take power from others, or we give away a little bit of the power we think we do have, so that all of our power won't get taken. And when in fact, there's infinite amounts of power for us. And I don't mean the power that you use to dominate over other people. That's a word that got hijacked. That's tyranny. That's terrorism. That's not the kind of power I mean. I mean the power to fuel your life, to fuel your heart, to fuel your ideas, to fuel your joy, to fuel your spirit, you personally, and to be able to share that with others. So one of the first things that came to mind when I really went on a quest to learn this in the spring was a book I read a long time ago. And I've mentioned this in the past, and we've had a couple of speakers at Symposium that bring this up, and it's the work of Dr. David R. Hawkins, who is an incredible world-renowned psychologist. Who he died in 2012, I believe. I wish he was still around, because I would give anything to sit at his feet and learn from him all the things that he discovered over his lifetime, because of his love for humanity and his love for the human family and his love for the world. Ultimately, his work was about love, and it was about transcending this lower belief that we have to take from each other, or it will be taken, this lower belief that life has to be so difficult. Now, here's what I want to say. I know from experience how it feels when somebody says, if you just change your outlook, then maybe things will change for you. I know how it feels when somebody says that to you when you're in the middle of the worst times of your life, and you're just thinking, really? If it was that easy, don't you think I would have done it? So keep that in mind as I share these things with you that I've learned. I know the path of despair. I know what it's like to be in the pits of hell and wonder how in the world you're ever going to climb out of those steep walls of pit, I know that. And I know what it's like when somebody comes along and says, you got to raise your vibration or whatever. But that's why I've gone on this quest, is because since 2014, I've been on a very earnest study of quantum physics and consciousness studies and energy studies, not so much like metaphysical, but like hard science. I know metaphysical gets a bad rap, especially if you're somebody who believes in, the power of divinity like I do. Like my truth teller is, there's always just kind of been this weird fight between science and metaphysics and religion. And I want to leave all of that out of it. I want you to, at this time, just close your eyes for a second and just say, heart and mind and truth teller, please help me to receive these teachings and know whether they resonate with my heart or not, whether it's true for me or not. And I'm making this sound so complicated, but it's just, I was going to wait 6 more months or something and develop this further. But man, I have been on the phone with so many people every day who are just white knuckling. They're at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. And I feel really, really honored that so many people come to me with that. I remember when I was in the pits of despair and I didn't know that I would ever get out, thinking, if I get my way out of this, someday I'm going to help anybody who's in this, and I'm never going to turn them away because it's an awful place to be. But now that I'm out of that place and I want to thrive, I want to do it from a belief system that doesn't get me back in the same situations over and over again. I think my soul must really want to learn this learn this lesson, because I have gotten myself in this predator-prey position over and over and over again. I have played this role of prey in so many different Broadway plays, so many different human family situations. And I don't want to do it anymore. And that's why I earnestly went to my truth teller and said, I've got to learn how this works. And now that I've learned it, I've been sharing it with everybody. And I made this huge chart. It's like 7 feet tall of what I learned. And I have it all rolled up, and it's just on a big long roll of craft paper. I've been taking it on any family trips I go on, or when friends come over, I go to a friend's house, I take it, and I'm just like, and then we end up having these 2 or 3 hour discussions, and it's just life changing. And they're like, can I take a picture of this? And so, I've spent the last 2 days actually making a copy of this chart, so that, so you guys can have it, mostly so I can have it. And I even, in your downloads, I put in a poster size. So I went and got mine printed at Staples. I'm excited to get it because I'm going to look at it every day, because what it does is it helps you see where you're at, based on the outlook on life that you have, based on what your strategy, your brain is saying the strategy to get out of it is, based on how you're feeling, what your emotion is. And so here, I'll just grab it. I can also put it on the screen because it's digital. But this is the copy, this is the page size copy that you can print out. And I hope you will. I hope you'll just print it out and look at it for every day for a little while, so you can really understand. So this is based on, adapted from The Map of Consciousness by Dr. David Hawkins. There's a book called The Map of Consciousness Explained, but I would recommend getting all of his books. Power versus Force was the one that I read in my 20s and 30s, but I found so many other ones. And then go on his website and watch his lectures. Like this is one of my favorite teachers of all my life. But when I was praying about this is what came to mind, and then a bunch of other things. And it's about, he says power versus force. Like these places where we operate down here, we're trying to force everything into happening. And here is where we just have power and things just actually flow. And again, like I used to watch videos like this where people would, say these concepts, and I would just be like, whatever, they have no idea how complicated my life is and how hard this is. But then I started to experiment with all of this in the state of my life. And I started to match it up with sacred texts, from my truth teller. And the same truths emerged, because truth is truth is truth is truth is truth, no matter what words we put with it. These are the physics of the universe. And, like Nikola Tesla and Einstein and all those guys are studying this, but we've made such quantum leaps in science learning this stuff that now it's hard science. Like it's not just theories anymore. But as you can see, these lower emotions, like shame is the lowest emotion you can possibly feel, and then guilt and apathy. And I look at the way the world has been going the last couple of years, just, even the media, whether they've done it intentionally or not, all the shaming that has happened and how that's gotten these numbers, they are frequency. So it's vibration. I'm sure you hear a lot about like raise your vibration and all those kinds of things. It's just science. Like it's not a bunch of woo woo metaphysical stuff. Metaphysical stuff is science, but this is hard science. And I don't want you guys to feel weird about learning about this stuff, because it matches perfectly with whatever your way of devotion is, whoever your truth teller is. It's just the way the universe is set up. But shame is the lowest place that our body and our soul and our spirit can vibrate at. And so when we're in a place of shame or guilt or apathy, where we have a really difficult time making decisions, typically we are reacting instead of responding. We're just, hair trigger reacting. We're wanting somebody to come save us, or we're wanting to, squash somebody to feel better. we're not making high level, spirit led, heart led choices, and we feel powerless. And because we feel powerless, we start sourcing our power from each other. And so that's what all these dark places of predator and prey, it's about sourcing from other human beings. It says it right there. Predator says sourcing from other humans. And then the attitude is, I have to take power to survive. And then on prey, it's sourcing from other humans. I have to succumb to the people who have power, the powerful people, in order to survive. So it's really just about survival, but it's like either I'm going to take power or I'm going to give away some of my power so all my power doesn't get taken. And I know you're thinking through this and you know the dynamics of this, that you have done, some of those things, because that's just the way we've been taught a lot, especially after the last decade or whatever. It's gotten so crazy. And I can't survive in this nonsense. I just can't. And I don't want you to either. And I know you don't want to. So then let's talk about the third and better way. And that's the way of real power. And again, this isn't a power over people. It's power like powering a vehicle. It's power like powering technology. It's like electricity and power and light and the stuff that drives you. You don't have to wait around for somebody to give that to you. You don't have to beg people. You don't have to prove. You don't have to take it from anybody. It's available to you all the time. But your body has to get up into these states of frequency and vibration. So there's an attitude that goes with each one of these. And that's how you can kind of know like where you're at. Like let's say you want to stay in a place of love. You would literally be thinking, life is not causing me harm. I feel reverence for life. God is loving. All is being revealed to me. Now, they say 500. That's 500. That's a really high place that a lot of people don't get to. We weave in and out of these and we feel them from time to time. But from what I read, most 80 to 85% of humans on this planet vibrate below 200. And so they're at a place of courage, but haven't gotten up to a place where they think they will be okay if they're not sourcing everything they have from other people. I hope this is making sense for you. What happens when I show this to people is that it automatically makes sense to them. And so that's what I'm expecting that's going to happen for you. I spent a couple of days making this because like I said, I've been sketching this out and I have it on a huge poster, and I wanted to make it really, really easy to understand. But the main concepts of this are that when, I'm 51, I just turned 51, and it's kind of embarrassing to think that, it took me till I was 51 to think that I can create and source and co-create with the power and the source of everything good and true, rather than begging and waiting around for somebody to give me a little bit of power, a little bit of freedom, a little bit of choice, a little bit of opportunity, a little bit of whatever, a little bit of decision making, a little bit of anything, a little bit of anything good. I didn't want to rock the boat. So I was a perfect match for somebody who believes that they have to take power from somebody. Because I was just always like, okay, just take it. Take everything I have, as long as you don't, hurt me or my family or whatever. Like I was just taking it all, giving it all the time so that more didn't get taken from me. So, it's embarrassing to me to think about all the different situations I have gotten myself in that are exactly like this. And like I said, my earnest prayer and my earnest studying, like so much massive studying and experimenting, realizing that if we don't stop this, we're going to destroy the whole human family. And that's why I feel so passionate about it. That's why I'm not waiting. I was going to launch this sometime in 2023. And I was like, all the people that I've been coaching and have been on the phone with, and they're telling me all the things that are happening, this is the thing I always bring out. And I'm like, where are you believing you are? Who are you believing you are? Who are you? Do you know who you are and what you're capable of? That's really what this is about. It's about you figuring out how capable and powerful and loved and beloved and endowed with the authority and the ability to operate with your own heart and your own mind, with your truth teller, with the source of everything, and not having to always lay down and take whatever's being handed to you, or not feeling like you have to always get puffed up and get big and take it from other people before they take it from you. Those are old ways that have destroyed our family, our human family. And I want to be standing on the right side of history, where once I learned this, I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm not going to operate as prey. I'm not going to operate as a predator. I'm going to operate up in these places where I can actually be of help, because when I'm in a place of fear, or even desire, anger, pride, even those upper ones, I'm not the best I can be for everybody around me. And that's what I really want. I want to be a good steward of my own life, but I also want to be able to help people in meaningful ways, that I'm not teaching them the same things that have gotten me in the worst situations of my life, where, I'm not teaching people to be prey, and I'm not teaching people to be a predator. I'm teaching people this isn't about being better than somebody or being higher than somebody. It isn't about somebody else at all. That's the point. This isn't about somebody else at all. This is about you. This is about you and what you can do for yourself, and what you can do with your truth teller, and what, once you decide, and I know, like I said, if you're in active grief, or you're in depression, or any kind of mental unwellness, it's hard to do this. But here's what I did. I said, I'm in a place of fear, and I want to be in a place of peace. I want to be in a place of joy. And I would just tell myself that. I want to feel joy. I want to feel joy. I want to feel peace. I want to feel peace. And I would just focus on that until my brain started going, oh, she wants to feel joy and peace. She doesn't want to feel like prey. She doesn't want to feel down here in this place of fear. Let's go figure things out. Let's go find things. It's like your brain just starts to go, oh, as soon as you give it a command, It takes time, and it takes discipline sometimes when you're in a rough place, but it's worth it. And this video is long, and I don't want to do that to you guys, make these long videos that you can't even watch. So just go read this, and then just think about where you're at and where you want to be. I'm going to be using this in a lot of the upcoming lessons. This month, I'm also giving you the class called Be Your Own Hero that goes along with this, that goes along with examining, whether you are waiting for somebody to restore your power to you that they took, or whether you're examining, like, I'm not even going to go out of the house anymore because I can't be predator and I can't be prey. That's how I was. I just hid out for a couple of years, and I had to figure out, like, what is my problem? Why am I so scared? Why am I so unmotivated to move forward? And I'm just keep stopping myself. And it was because this was my belief, and I knew I couldn't betray myself anymore by being prey, and I definitely couldn't be predator. And so this information is life-changing, because it takes away so many of the things that hold us back. At least it does for me, and it just makes me want to be better. So I hope you enjoy it. And like I said, I included Be Your Own Hero. That's one of my very favorite courses. You just got to put in the coupon code in the Soul Road Academy, and I think you're gonna love it. I'm also, stay tuned on Facebook and things like that, because I'm doing a November challenge called New Life November, and it's just about giving new life to things that are in your life and giving new life to you. I'm going to be renovating some stuff around my house to give it some new life, and I'm going to be renovating some stuff in here and on my body and all that kind of stuff for New Life November. So that's what we'll be doing in the Creative Soul Searching Facebook group, and so I hope you'll join us there. That was super fun to do. Only Awesome October, super life-changing, and I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Make sure you check out Be Your Own Hero. You're going to love that class. You're going to love the downloads. It's one of my very favorites. Okay, love you so much. Mwah.